2015, 4 years after Amy's death. Teenage girl named Maya discovered Back to Black album. Not through radio, not through parents, through Spotify algorithm. Recommendation, unknown artist, vintage sound. Clicked play, life changed. She'd never heard voice like Amy's. Raw, honest, unfiltered. Every note carried weight. Every word meant something. Every song told truth. Maya recognized despite being born years after album released. Despite never knowing Amy lived. Despite missing entire era. Maya listened repeatedly. Album on loop. Learning every word, every melody, every nuance. Feeling connected to voice from past. To person she'd never meet. To artist who died when Maya was 7. Connection transcending time, transcending death, transcending everything except music. She told friend. Found this amazing singer, Amy Winehouse. You heard of her? Friend laughed. She's been dead for years. Where have you been? Doesn't matter when she died. Her voice is alive. Her music is now. That's what matters. The discovery pattern repeated globally. Teenagers finding Amy through streaming services, through TikTok clips, through viral moments, each generation discovering Back to Black as if it just released, as if Amy still lived, as if time didn't exist between recording and listening. 2018, singer named Jorja Smith mentioned Amy in interview. Biggest influence. Taught me honesty matters more than perfection. Taught me vulnerability is strength. Taught me your voice doesn't have to be pretty. Has to be true, interviewer asked. You were 10 when she died. How did she influence you? Music doesn't die with artist. Keeps teaching, keeps inspiring. Amy's still teaching me. Every time I listen, every time I sing, she's there, guiding, showing the way. Amy's music didn't fade after death, didn't become nostalgic relic, didn't age into irrelevance. Instead, grew stronger, reached further, touched more people dead than alive, voice echoing through time, finding new ears, creating new connections, proving art outlives artist, proving truth is timeless. Mark Ronson received messages constantly. Young producers, young artists, young musicians, all citing Amy, all inspired by Back to Black, all wanting to create something that honest, that raw, that real. One message read, I'm 17, never knew Amy Winehouse lived, but her music saved my life. When I wanted to die, her voice made me stay. Her honesty showed me I wasn't alone. Thank you for making that album. Thank you for capturing her truth. It became my truth too. Mark kept these messages, hundreds of them, thousands, proof that Amy's impact continued, expanded, multiplied, each listener becoming carrier of her influence, each connection spawning more connections. Ripple effect, extending infinitely. He'd play Back to Black sometimes, alone in studio, just listening, remembering recording sessions, remembering Amy's perfectionism, remembering her vulnerability, remembering person behind legendary vocal tracks, person who never knew her voice would echo through decades, would influence generations, would live forever through speakers and headphones and vinyl grooves. Streaming numbers told story. Back to Black gaining listeners annually. More streams in 2020 than 2010. More in 2023 than 2020. Growth instead of decline. Discovery instead of nostalgia. New fans instead of just old fans remembering. Amy reaching people who weren't born when she died, reaching them powerfully, changing them fundamentally, connecting across impossible gap of time and death. Music journalist wrote, Amy Winehouse's Back to Black is Paradox, album from 2006 that sounds timeless, voice from past that speaks to present, artist who died young, whose influence grows older. Death usually ends careers. Amy's death began something else, legacy, true legacy, the kind that never fades. Article went viral, sparked conversation, young people commenting, just discovered her, changed my life, didn't know what I was missing, best voice ever, feels like she's singing to me specifically. Comments proving Amy's reach extended beyond death, beyond era, beyond genre, universal. Timeless, eternal. New artists cited Amy constantly, not just soul singers. Rappers sampled her, pop stars covered her, rock musicians referenced her. Influence transcending genre, transcending style, transcending categorization. Amy became touchstone, standard, aspiration, what every artist wanted to achieve. Honesty, authenticity, truth. Billie Eilish mentioned Amy in interview. She didn't try to be perfect, didn't try to be pretty, just tried to be honest. That's harder, that's braver, that's what I want to do, interviewer noted. You were 9 when she died. Doesn't matter, her music didn't die. It's here, teaching me, showing me how to be honest even when honesty hurts. Adele, Amy's contemporary, spoke at tribute concert. Amy paved way, showed industry that authenticity sells, that vulnerability connects. That you don't have to be manufactured pop star, can be real person, real voice, real struggles. And people respond. Amy proved that, died proving that. We all benefit from her bravery. The covers multiplied, artists reinterpreting Amy's songs. Sometimes faithful, sometimes radical, always respectful, always acknowledging debt, always understanding they were touching something sacred, something important, something that belonged to everyone who found solace in Amy's honesty. Young singer named Celeste recorded "Love is a Losing Game." Stripped down, just voice and piano. Posted on YouTube, comments flooded. Amy would be proud. Doing her justice, keeping her spirit alive. This made me cry. Celeste responded in interview. Covering Amy is terrifying. Her voice is untouchable, but her spirit is shareable. She gave us permission to be vulnerable, to be honest, to be human. Covering her isn't trying to replicate her voice, it's honoring her courage, continuing her mission, being honest even when it's scary. Film students studied Back to Black documentary. Music students analyzed her vocal technique. Sociology students examined her cultural impact. Psychology students explored her struggles. Amy became subject, study, analysis, but also remained artist, person, voice, never just academic exercise, always human connection. Professor teaching music history course. Amy Winehouse represents inflection point. Before her, manufactured pop dominated. After her, authenticity became currency. Artists like Adele, like Sam Smith, like Lizzo, all benefit from path Amy cleared. She paid price. They reap reward. That's how influence works. Pioneer suffers. Followers flourish. Student raised hand. But Amy's still more influential than anyone who came after. Why? Because Amy wasn't trying to be influential, was trying to be honest. Influence is byproduct of authenticity. Amy was authentically herself, completely, fearlessly, fatally. That authenticity resonates forever. That's why she's still here, still teaching, still inspiring, still mattering. Amy's influence wasn't just musical, was cultural, was social, was personal. People found themselves in her songs, found permission to struggle, found validation for pain, found understanding they couldn't find elsewhere. Amy's music became therapy, became companion, became friend who understood even when others didn't. Support groups formed online, people sharing how Amy's music helped them. How Back to Black got them through depression, how Love is a Losing Game made breakups survivable, how Rehab gave permission to say no, how Amy's entire existence validated their struggles, made them feel less alone, less broken, less wrong. One post: I'm 19, struggle with addiction, everyone judges, everyone says I'm weak. Then I found Amy's music, found someone who understood, who struggled too, who didn't pretend struggle was easy. Her honesty saved me, made me feel human instead of failure. Thank you, Amy, wherever you are. Hundreds of similar posts, thousands. Amy's music becoming lifeline, becoming salvation, becoming reason to stay alive. Not because her songs were happy, because they were honest. Because honesty about darkness helps more than false positivity. Because Amy sang about pain and made pain bearable, made suffering shareable, made survival possible. The Amy Winehouse Foundation used her music, played it in programs, showed videos in workshops, used Amy's voice to reach struggling youth, used her honesty to teach emotional literacy, used her courage to model vulnerability. Amy's music becoming tool, becoming education, becoming intervention. Sarah, the girl from First Music Program, taught using Amy's songs. Listen to how she sings this note. Hear the vulnerability, the raw emotion. That's what we're trying to achieve. Not perfection, honesty. Amy didn't have perfect voice, had honest voice. That's better. That's what connects. Students listened, learned, understood. Amy becoming mentor posthumously, teaching people she never met, influencing people born after her death, reaching across time through recorded voice, through preserved truth, through timeless honesty. Back to Black remained relevant, appeared in films, in TV shows, in commercials, usually rejected by a state. Amy's music wasn't for selling products, was for connecting humans, for sharing truth, for honoring her legacy properly. Foundation protected this fiercely. Mark protected this fiercely. Everyone who loved Amy protected this fiercely. When appropriate use emerged, documentary about addiction, film about struggling artists, show about human connection, permission granted. Amy's music enhancing stories that mattered, amplifying messages that aligned with her values, contributing to conversations she'd have joined if alive. One documentary about young women finding voices used Valerie. Director explained choice. Amy represents finding your voice, being yourself despite pressure to conform. That's what documentary is about. Amy's spirit guides entire film. Her courage inspires every woman we profile. Using her music wasn't commercial decision, was spiritual one. The echoes continued, multiplied, amplified. Amy's influence becoming larger after death, reaching further, mattering more, not because death created legend, because music revealed truth. And truth never expires. Truth never ages. Truth never becomes irrelevant. 2020, pandemic, isolation, people discovering Amy in lockdown, connecting with her loneliness, understanding her struggle, finding companion in voice from past. Streaming numbers skyrocketed. Back to Black in top charts. 15 years after release. 4 years after artist's death. Still climbing, still relevant, still necessary. Music critic wrote, "We needed Amy Winehouse in 2006. We still need her in 2020. Her music addresses timeless struggles, loneliness, heartbreak, addiction, self-doubt. These don't disappear. Amy's songs don't disappear. Both remain, both matter, both save lives." Comments agreed. Discovered Amy during lockdown. Her music got me through. Felt less alone. Her voice understands. Thanks, Amy. Miss you, Amy. Love you, Amy. Messages to dead artists from living people. Proof connection transcended death. Proof voice lived on. Proof echoes never stopped. Mark received request. Young artist wanted to collaborate with Amy, using archived vocals, creating new song. Technology made it possible. Ethics made it questionable. Mark refused. Amy's voice is sacred, not to be manipulated, not to be artificially continued. She stopped singing. Her voice stopped. That's okay. That's natural. That's death. Using technology to resurrect her voice isn't honoring her. It's exploiting her. Amy's influence continues through inspiration, not through artificial collaboration. Her echo is real. Let's not make it artificial. Response went viral. People agreed. Respect Amy's silence. Let her rest. Influence doesn't require resurrection. Her recorded voice is enough. We don't need more Amy songs. We need to honor the ones we have. Conversation mattered. Established boundary. Protected Amy's legacy. Ensured her influence remained authentic. Remained real. Remained based on truth she actually sang. Not on simulations. Not on artificial continuations. Just her. Just her voice. Just her truth. Forever. the echoes would never stop. Each generation discovering Amy, each listener connecting, each connection proving music transcends time, transcends death, transcends everything except human need for truth, for honesty, for understanding. Amy provided these, would always provide these, through preserved recordings, through timeless albums, through voice that refused to age even as years passed. 2025, 20 years since Back to Black's recording, 14 years since Amy's death, albums still charting, still streaming, still mattering, new listeners discovering it daily, old listeners returning to it constantly, everyone finding something needed, something true, something Amy. Teenager posted TikTok, just crying. Caption: just discovered Amy Winehouse. Why did nobody tell me about her? Why didn't I know? This voice, these songs, this honesty, I'm destroyed, I'm saved. I'm changed forever. Video went viral, millions of views. Comments: same. Welcome to Amy. She changed me too. Her voice is gift. We all discovered her eventually. You're never late to Amy, you arrive when you need her. Truth in that comment. People found Amy when they needed Amy, when ready for her honesty, when open to her vulnerability, when requiring her truth. Timing didn't matter. Era didn't matter. Age didn't matter. Need mattered. Connection mattered. Truth mattered. Mark sometimes walked Camden, visited places Amy loved. Good mixer, market stalls, street corners, feeling her presence. Not literally, spiritually. Amy was gone. Amy's spirit remained, in Camden, in music, in influence, in echo. He'd hear Back to Black playing from shops, from cars, from open windows. Amy's voice floating through streets she walked. Through city she loved, through neighborhood that raised her. Voice never leaving home, never leaving hearts, never leaving time. Ray at Good Mixer kept Amy's corner booth sacred. It's Amy's booth, he'd tell tourists. You can sit there, but understand, you're sitting where legend sat, where genius drank beer, where honesty was born. Treat it respectfully. Most did, most understood, most felt connection to Amy, to history, to something larger than themselves. Corner booth became shrine, became memorial, became place where Amy's echo lived loudest, where presence felt strongest, where voice seemed nearest. The echoes would continue forever, as long as music played, as long as streaming services existed, as long as vinyl spun, as long as people needed honesty, needed vulnerability, needed truth. Amy would be there, voice preserved, message timeless, influence eternal, not because she was perfect, because she was honest, not because she was flawless, because she was real, not because she was saint, because she was human, human who sang truth, human who shared struggle, human who made others feel less alone. That's immortality, not living forever, being remembered forever, being needed forever, mattering forever. Amy achieved this through music, through honesty, through courage to be herself completely, even when being herself was difficult, was dangerous, was ultimately fatal. But voice survived, voice thrived, voice echoed through time, reaching people Amy never met, touching people born after her death, inspiring people who would inspire others. Chain reaction, ripple effect, echo becoming roar, whisper becoming anthem, one voice becoming thousands, thousands becoming millions. Amy everywhere, Amy always, Amy eternal. The music played on, would always play on. Back to Black spinning, vinyl crackling, digital files streaming, Amy's voice flowing through time like river, constant, inevitable, necessary, life-giving. In bedroom, Maya, now 20, introduced younger sister to Back to Black. Listen to this, it'll change your life. Sister skeptical. Who is this? Amy Winehouse, best voice ever. Listen, track played. Sister's face changed. Recognition, connection, understanding. This is incredible. When did she record this? 2006. She sounds so current, so now, so relevant. That's because truth is timeless. Amy sang truth. Truth never ages. Circle completing, echo continuing, voice living, forever. Some voices silence, but one voice remains. Amy's final chapter isn't ending, it's continuation. In the last episode, we explore what it means when artist becomes eternal, when music transcends mortality, and when voice refuses to fade. What does forever sound like? Don't miss the final episode.